Testing. Testing. Zoom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Testing. Zoom. 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing. Zoom. This is Zoom input. Testing. Zoom. Virtual input. Testing. Testing. 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing. Zoom. Testing. Virtual input. Zoom. 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing. Zoom. 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing. Zoom. Zoom input. Testing. 1, 2. 1, 2. I can actually still hear that from the PA out here, so I might go further away in case you're having problems. I can hear it coming out of the media room to the lobby. 1, 2. 1, 2. Go in the doorway. Testing, testing. 1, 2. Right, I can't hear the PA anymore. I'm in an echoey room though, so forgive me. Testing. 1, 2. Testing Zoom. Testing Zoom. 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing Zoom. Omicron coronavirus variant now spreading by community transmission. 1, 2. Testing Zoom. This is Zoom virtual input. Testing. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Do you want to test a return mic? I haven't heard anything back to this end yet. So if you want to jump.
Hey, 1.
That's good. Receiving that.
Yep.
Receiving you.
Yep. 1, 1, 2. Check. 1.
That's good. That's really clean my end.
Yep. Yours could do with being a little bit cleaner, but maybe it's just because you're just too close to the room still.
Could be. I'm in a very echoey room in the lobby, but I'm worried about losing Wi-Fi more than anything. No, I'm not sure how far I can go. Plus, it's on a mobile, and it's just held to my face, so it might be the nature of what we get from laptop.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I can actually hear you quite clearly, so it's just a little bit watery, isn't it? That watery sound that you get, but it's not too bad. I can hear
okay.
What you're saying.
Do you want to ask Nick to do a full run through then? Because with those mics in position on the stage where they're going to be, can they hear me coming back, vice versa, and I'll stay on the call?
Yeah, okay. I'll position mics then.
Thank you.
Testing. 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Testing. 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Testing Zoom.
8, 9, 10. All good?
This is Zoom input 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing Zoom. 1, 2. Testing Zoom. Happy with the Zoom input?
What if there's a better way to buy your next car? Just visit Cazoo and pick out one you love. All our cars pass a thorough 300-point inspection and are carefully reconditioned. We show you every detail, so you'll know exactly what you're getting. And every car comes with a 90-day warranty, roadside assistance, and our 7-day money-back guarantee, giving you a whole week to make sure you love it. And if you don't, we'll take it back. Can you buy a quality car that's guaranteed to leave you happy? Kazoo, yeah you can.
He's going to the bottom cushion, maybe off the 8. Oh, trick shot by Woodward. What a shot by Evolution.
One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution. Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table and just hit the ball.
I don't know what I am at this stage, but I'm still a threat to beat any player on the earth.
We fail a lot, and I think failure is the #1 ingredient for success.
I see a big win for Europe again. We're going to try our best, and we will do our best.
You know, you're playing for your country, not just you, and you got to realize that it's bigger than just you as a player.
I looked up at Earl when I was younger. He got so much firepower in his game.
Play whatever I do in practice. In practice I play perfect, so I try to play a perfect pool when I just focus on my game.
What if there's a better way to sell your car that makes the whole process simple? Just visit Cazoo to get an instant online valuation for a guaranteed price that we won't chip away at. We can collect your car from your door at a time that suits you, and we'll even pay you on the same day. Can you sell your car online with a guaranteed price? Cazoo, yeah you can. What if there's a better way to buy your next car? Just visit Cazoo and pick out one you love. All our cars pass a thorough 300-point inspection and are carefully reconditioned. We show you every detail, so you'll know exactly what you're getting. And every car comes with a 90-day warranty, roadside assistance,
big fan from
and
Saudi Arabia, by the way. Let
guarantee,
me quickly
giving you a
introduce
whole week
myself.
to make
I'm
sure you
Sam
love it. And if you don't, we'll take it back. Can you buy a quality car that's guaranteed to leave you happy? Kazoo, yeah you can.
He's going to the bottom cushion, maybe off the 8.
Are they live on there now?
What?
They should be.
What a shot by Evolution.
One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution. Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table and just hit the ball.
I don't know what I am at this stage, but I'm still a threat to beat any player on the earth.
We fail a lot, and I think failure is the #1 ingredient for success.
I see a big win for Europe again. We're going to try our best, and we will do our best.
You know, you're playing for your country, not just you, and you gotta realize that it's bigger than just you as a player.
I looked up Earl when I was younger. Got so much firepower in his game.
Play whatever I do in practice. In practice I play perfect, so I try to play a perfect pool when I just focus on my game.
What if there's a better way to sell your car that makes the whole process simple? Just visit Cazoo to get an instant online valuation for a guaranteed price that we won't chip away at. We can collect your car from your door at a time that suits you, and we'll even pay you on the same day. Can you sell your car online with a guaranteed price? Cazoo, yeah you can. What if there's a better way to buy your next car? Just visit Cazoo and pick out one you love. All our cars pass a thorough 300-point inspection and are carefully reconditioned. We show you every detail, so you'll know exactly what you're getting. And every car comes with a 90-day warranty, roadside assistance, and our 7-day money-back guarantee, giving you a whole week to make sure you love it. And if you don't, we'll take it back. Can you buy a quality car that's guaranteed to leave you happy? Cazoo, yeah you can.
He's going to the bottom cushion, maybe off the 8. Oh, trick shot by Woodward. What a shot by Evolution.
One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution. Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table and just hit the ball.
I don't know what I am at this stage, but I'm still a threat to beat any player on the earth.
We fail a lot, and I think failure is the #1 ingredient for success.
I see a big win for Europe again. We're going to try our best, and we will do our best.
You know, you're playing for your country, not just you, and you gotta realize that it's bigger than just you as a player.
I look up at Earl when I was younger. Got so much firepower in his game.
Play whatever I do in practice. In practice I play perfect, so I try to play a perfect pool when I just focus on my game.
What if there's a better way to sell your car that makes the whole process simple? Just visit Cazoo to get an instant online valuation for a guaranteed price that we won't chip away at. We can collect your car from your door at a time that suits you, and we'll even pay you on the same day. Can you sell your car online with a guaranteed price? Cazoo, yeah you can.
Good evening and welcome to the Cazoo Mosconi Cup press conference. Thank you for everyone here who's come along. It's good to see the cowboy hats in the audience. Team USA have got some fans here. It's the biggest event on the pool calendar. It's the Mosconi Cup. 27 years of history. The score is 13-all, and it's all to play for, starting tomorrow. Together with Sky Sports, we're going to be bringing you world-class production. We're going to be on Sky Sports main event and arena from 6 p.m. tomorrow. And the most exciting thing is we're welcoming the fans back. It's incredible to have you guys here as well. To come and see the players in action before they go out and try and Team Europe to defend the title. Obviously, at this moment in time, we're operating in difficult circumstances with our current climate, and it's our priority to follow government guidance and for the safety of everyone of our event. So unfortunately, due to a possible COVID exposure, Earl Strickland has withdrawn from the event. But 5-time Mosconi Cup winner, former US Open champion, Jeremy Jones is coming out of retirement, ladies and gentlemen. Now obviously, both teams are devastated. We feel for Earl as well, who is very healthy and he's now isolating. But we're obviously extremely devastated as the promoter, both Team Europe and Team USA. But JJ, let's come to you first of all. This is obviously a huge turning point for you and your team. How are you feeling?
Well, we all feel for Earl, first of all. That's the first thing we think of, I think. You know, it's hard to think of myself or even the other guys at this moment. He's prepared hard. He deserves to be here. It wasn't long ago I messaged the team that, you know, we have the team we want here. Of course, we're under funny guidelines these days, so safety's first. And, you know, you can't be more honored to represent your country playing anything. This may be the most unfortunate circumstance we run across to be able to do that. But I'm going to stand tall like every American would and try and represent Earl along with a lot of other pool players that would like to be here from America. So, of course, Earl will be on our mind, and I'm sure he'll be rooting for us, and we'll go from there.
And that's the fantastic thing about Team USA. You're so patriotic and you all will come together under any difficult circumstance, and it feels like you kind of you've got the bad luck of the draw with, you know, with 2020 as well. You had unfortunate circumstances there as well. So it's just nice to see that as a team, you guys will come together regardless.
Yeah, you know, it's only been just a few moments since this news has really, you know, become concrete. But these guys here have been wonderful in that short span. You know, some butterflies I thought were, you know, maybe not around or are kicking again, so I'm happy for that. And you know, come tomorrow when I play, these guys play just like always, no excuses. So, yeah, that's what Americans do.
I'm going to come to you, Alex. Just obviously a reaction from that. Does that affect anything for your game, starting with the team for tomorrow?
Well, no, because tomorrow is tomorrow, and when we kick it off, the guys will be playing 100% committed, you know, play hard. But of course, myself, will need time, will need tonight to digest the news. And but I'm sure that this will not dent their ambition, USA's ambition to perform and play with a lot of heart and make it a tough competition.
And there's always a huge rivalry when we do come to the Mosconi Cup. You know, the press conference last year was very fiery between both camps. But it seems that times like this, everyone comes together to pull for the event. And even when we get out there tomorrow, it's going to be competitive, it's going to be exciting, and we're all going to come together.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the best thing is that all the fans are there again, and this is what the guys play for. And we're going to be up against 5 champions. And, you know, I myself, we were looking forward to see Earl in action, but Jeremy Jones is a legend as well. You know, he always played super hard on the Mosconi Cup, was like one of the stronger guys on the team. So I hope he finds a good gear tomorrow and the days to come, and we're looking forward to kick it off tomorrow.
And Jeremy, just on that, how is that going to change for you to go from captain to, how's your mindset going to change to actually going out there and playing?
Well, I can rely on some past things. I've always felt like I know that table pretty well, which will give me a lot of confidence. Along with these guys, you know, just it's hard to put it into words. You know, I'm thinking about what Alex said. I saw them outside, and I could see a little bit of a gut check when they heard the news, and they're on the opposing team. So, but I'm gonna be as ready as I can be. I plan on winning, and I like to win. So, I don't see these Europeans any different than the Europeans I played years ago. Whoever plays the best is probably going to get the point. And so I got to go out there and try and play my best.
I'm going to come to you, Skylar. Now, you always seem very relaxed in whether you're in defeat or if you're winning. You all just seem really chilled. Is that just your take on everything?
Yeah, I don't take anything really too serious. So, I mean, I just try to stay as calm as possible always, you know, live another day. So if I lose, I lose, or win, I win. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Talk to us a little bit about Shane being vice captain this year. How has that changed? Has he got a bit more bossy?
Yeah, he is. He's trying for sure. Yeah, he's pushing us a little harder this year, I would say. He's taking more of the role that he got, so I'm happy for that because he's pushing everybody hard.
And do you think that's what Team USA needed a bit of a push so you can work a bit harder?
We'll see. I mean, I think so. He's making us do what we got to do. So, yeah.
Now there is a big rivalry between USA and Europe. Is there anyone on Team Europe that you just really, really want to beat?
No, we're USA against Europe. I want to beat them all. We want to beat them all. So, I mean, not just any single player. Just we want to beat them all.
Albin, I'm going to come over to you. You've got a huge series of events under your belt this year. I mean, Championship League Pool, the World Pool Championship, the International Open. Are you feeling like poised, ready for the Mosconi Cup?
Of course, you always think you're ready for Mosconi Cup, but you actually can answer this question when you hear the crazy guys out there, when you're on the way to the arena. You feel everything vibrating already when you go there, and you hear them screaming, and that's the moment where you actually think, okay, maybe it's a little bit too much. And of course, I'm 100% ready. I mean, I won so much this year, I can't say I'm not ready. So yeah, I am.
It's an important point to raise. We haven't had 1,000 or 1,500 spectators for nearly 2 years now. What's that going to be like?
It's going to be great, of course. I mean, it was always it was great news when we heard about it, because last year it was a little bit frustrating. You know, there was just something missing in the arena, and it's going to be different. It's going to be great, and hopefully we all do good there. And I hope for the best for Team Europe.
And we'll just touch base on the Whirlpool Masters from this year. Obviously, you've had a series of wins in 2021, but the Whirlpool Masters was the first one that you sort of went out. Was it the 4-inch pockets that you found tough?
Yeah, it was a little bit crazy when we got down from the practice table to the arena, and it was like, where are the pockets? So I was a little bit scared of that, and well, still, Dennis played a great match there, and all credit to him. But I think 4-inch pockets is pretty much perfect.
Now, we've introduced the Fans' Choice doubles match for day 3. We've always had our Fans' Choice singles match. Is there any particular lineup that you don't want to be against?
I'm not even sure if I'm in. So the Fans' Choice, yeah, of course. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, kind of. I think you pretty much got Jason and Shane, and the next probably is Josh or Skylar or something. So, but if I would be in, I don't really care, to be honest. You know, if you're out there and in your tunnel view, you don't really care who's sitting on the other side of the arena.
No, come on. If there was a doubles pairing that you wouldn't want to see on that side, who would it be?
On my side or their side? I think Shane and Skylar play the best. That's what I think. So you always got to be afraid of them.
I'm going to come over to you, Shane. You have taken a lot more responsibility this year. I think it's been great that you're being vice captain. You're bossing the team around in a good way, and I think it's great. You've got more involved. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm actually pushing my players a little bit. Not too much, you know, so we're working hard, and I'm getting them to do some more drills and stuff. So I think it's working out pretty good.
And it is obviously disappointing news about Earl. I know that throughout the announcement you've really supported Earl being on the team, especially all of the training and everything that he was doing. I know that you were in communication with him from announcement all the way up to getting to London.
I mean, I was talking to Earl almost every day, and you know, he called me almost every day. He's saying that he was practicing, he's working, doing 1,000 sit-ups a day, and he was working hard, and just an unfortunate situation.
There's been some talk about you possibly being vice captain to set up for retirement in the next couple of years, which I think is nonsense. You've got a lot more years in you, but are you enjoying having the vice captaincy whilst also playing?
Yeah, I mean, it's a simple process, you know, being vice captain. You know, I have no problem doing that for the next couple of years, so looking forward to it.
Thanks, Shane. Jason, 2020 Mosconi Cup MVP. Now, I know I gave you a little bit of stick beforehand because I wasn't sure how you were going to react to no crowd. I thought that it was going to hurt you, and I thought that you buzzed off of the crowd, but you completely proved me wrong and shut me up. How are you going into this event now?
Yeah, you know, I'm super excited. The fans are back, and obviously you were giving me stick last year, so I thought I would just stick one to you and try and play my best. But, you know, if the fans are there, if they're not there, I'm just going to go out and, you know, stay focused and try and give the fans a good time.
Do you ever feel nervous at all when you've got those fans pumping around, and it's just, it must be scary out there?
Yeah, I think everybody who plays the Mosconi Cup, to say if you're not nervous, I think you're lying. When you go out there, it might be more adrenaline in some players where you're pumped up so much, and you know, with the fans cheering your name and kind of get involved a little bit. So yeah, I think all the players do feel pressure out there, and it's just how you can handle it. But it's super excited to have the fans back.
And does that pressure and that adrenaline cause you to make different decisions on shots that maybe you wouldn't make if you were in a different arena or circumstance?
Yeah, it can do. I think in the past maybe it did a little bit, but now I'm more experienced. I've been there many times, and I know how to handle myself better out there, and we'll see in the next 3 or 4 days.
And we've obviously had a slight change to Team USA last minute. What's your thoughts on Team USA coming into this year as opposed to 2020?
When I found out Earl was in the team, I was super excited, you know. A lot of people probably don't know, but me and Earl shared an apartment for like 1.5 years together. So I got a good relationship with them, had a lot of good times with them, and I was super excited to see him play again. But it's just unfortunate what happened, and they still got a strong team. Like Alex said, Jeremy has won a lot of things over the years. He was one of the best players in the Mosconi Cup for Team USA, so we're still going to treat them with respect and go out there and just try and do what we need to do and not worry too much about them. But they're going to bring their game, and may the best team win.
Now, I'm going to come to you about this particular topic, because I think you're the most vocal and probably honest player at the same, both at the same time. We have made a few announcements: a new table, a new cloth, the 4-inch pockets, which is something that we're trying to standardise across our Matchroom pool tournaments. Obviously, we don't get it right every time, but we're trying new things, and the moment we stop trying new things, we should quit. Let's have your take on it, and you can be brutally honest.
Well, I think, you know, it doesn't matter what you do in the game or try and change things, there'll always be negative people saying negative things. That's just the way the world works. Well, I think going forward for the game over the last maybe 4 or 5 years, the standard has got so high that every event we keep going to, the pockets are one size. The next tournament we go to, it's different cloth and a different table. So I think going forward for the sport, I think having the same pocket size, the same cloth, the same conditions over and over will be better for the players. I think people are saying it doesn't look good and whatever, they just haven't seen it yet. So when they tune in, they're going to see that the table's tight and you're going to have to play good. In the past, balls would be missed and they would still go in, and people would say the pockets are too big. But now the pockets are tight, they're going to say, why are they changing the pockets? So you always have good and bad. I think the grey cloth looks great. It's going to look good in the arena. And I think everybody's going to enjoy what they're going to see going forward from Matchroom. And you just raise the bar every time. And I think the fans are just going to love this Mosconi Cup, because there won't be balls going in when they're missed.
And you touched base on it a couple of years ago that, you know, you had people tuning in, even say snooker players, they all know about the Mosconi Cup. They'll tune in to watch the Mosconi Cup. And there is always reference to, oh, they're playing on buckets, this is easy. The perfect thing that ever came out of Judd Trump coming to the US Open was you whitewashing him. It was the best result that we could have had for Paul, because it gave Paul the respect that it deserves. It's not just easy to just switch over to Paul and start playing it. And I think it was fantastic what you did at the US Open. It was a fantastic performance, and everyone tuned in and watched you do it.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's easy to sit at home and say the pockets look big, but, you know, you want to go out there and play and see how big they are. It's not easy. People think pool's easy because the pockets look big, but it's not just about that. It's about moving, kicking, breaking, jumping, and obviously Judd came over there and he was dead honest. He had never really played too much of it, so when he was playing, he understands that it's not easy game. You have to put the time in and put the effort in over the years to progress your game. You know, and I think snooker players will always say that anyway, just because they think snooker's the best, right? So I think the pockets the way they are now is definitely the way forward, and we're going to see some good pool. We're definitely going to see balls missed, and that's what the fans want.
Oh, it's going to be very exciting in there, especially when there are some balls missed. The crowd is going to go wild. Chris, looking back at 2020, that was obviously your debut in the Mosconi Cup. But do you feel like this is possibly your debut again, because you haven't done it with fans before? It's kind of your first time back at the Mosconi.
Yeah, I mean, last year it was like there's more people in this room than there was, you know, last year. But, you know, I mean, I'm looking at this like it is my debut, and I'm just going to go out there and try to prove myself.
There was a lot of doubt about you joining the team last year, a lot of negativity around it. But, I mean, even Jason said it himself after the event, that you came out and you played well and you kind of shut the haters up, sort of thing. Do you feel like you've got more pressure in that respect?
I don't think. I mean, I think I played pretty well, but I don't think I played amazing. You know, I learned a lot from last year, and you know, going to do my best not to overrun 7 to 8 balls this year, and we'll see what happens.
And what's the last 12 months been like for Chris Reinhold? What have you been doing to get back into practice and preparing for the Mosconi Cup?
Well, I've just been going to every event, playing really good matches. A lot of the matches I lost this year in the tournaments were really close, and they were just, you know, just here and there, shots that I learned, and, you know, a lot of experience this year. And I've had some good tournaments, and, you know, I think I prepared as well as I could the past month. And, you know, I'm just ready to go out there and do my best.
Oh, how about you're going to be playing on the same team with Jeremy Jones, the legend?
Oh, yeah, Jay. Yeah.
We're neighbors.
Yeah. I moved to Texas, and he's like 20 minutes away from me, so we've been practicing a lot. I've been going to his house. We've been doing drills. And, yeah, it's just, I think we're ready.
Catchy, I'm coming over to you.
All right, I almost fell asleep.
Championship League Paul, I swear, this guy, he fell asleep and came down late for his match, and I think John Lehman wanted to give him, deduct racks for him. We were in a bubble. There was no one there. There's nothing he could even do, and you still managed to nearly be late for your match. So are you awake now? Wakey for tomorrow? Look, let's be serious. You weren't one of the major certainties for Team Europe this year. There was a little bit of back and forth, you know, Fedor possibly, and then you went and won the World 10 Ball. Was that something that was playing on your mind throughout the year?
I was trying to play the whole year, but my visa delayed a little bit, like 2 months and a half, so I missed a couple of important tournaments, like the World Championship here in London, and finally I got a chance to play in the World Championships, and I won it. And then I won the Austrian Open, so yeah, I think I deserve the spot in the team.
Is this just your character, that you are just a bit laid back? I know that last year you missed a few Zoom calls with your captain, Alex Lely, and you had to sort of buck your ideas up a little bit.
Okay, this year I was better on that.
Alex, was he?
Yeah, better, but coming from here.
Yeah, I was trying to be on time and everything, so I think I didn't miss one.
There's been some previous talking points around the doubles matches. I mean, even Alex touched base on it at the press conference last year, that you've always, you know, even the World Cup of Pool, when you come with one of your team members, you've always learned to grow up playing on your own, and perhaps the doubles pairings isn't your strength. Is that something that you're really trying to practice on for this event?
Not really. I think my doubles game has become a lot better. Also playing it like past 3 years in Mosconi Cup and spending more time with the players and playing doubles, so I think I'll be fine with that.
Now, there was this classic clip, obviously, from the Whirlpool Masters, from your match with Earl, which is just, it's a fantastic video clip, and I think Earl said, he's a good player, but not a great player. I mean, I was obviously going to bring that up today and see what the reaction was, but I mean, you must be disappointed that you're not going to be able to go out there and show him that you are, in fact, a great player.
I mean, I respect Earl. You know, he has won a lot in the sport, and of course, he's one of the greatest players. But you know, I was looking forward to play with him in the Mosconi Cup and kind of tell him that, you know, that can happen again. So I just feel sorry for him that he got this in the last moment.
Tyler, coming over to you. Now, it looks like you've been traveling a lot this year. You've been playing in everything. Is that just been, how's your form feeling? Were you just really, really pumped to try and get onto the Mosconi Cup?
Yeah, I mean, I've always looked up to Shane growing up, and that's what he does. You know, you see him travel more than any player in the world, and he's gotten to where he is. So I think you get to that level by playing a lot of matches, having a lot of failures, learning from them, and then just getting back up and learning from them. So just try and learn from him and go from there.
And especially you say that about Shane, he probably is the most player that actually travels to all of the tournaments and just goes everywhere. How's it been having him as vice captain?
Yeah, it's great. He took that leadership role. Like we actually talked about that in the World Championship, you know, when we first found out about it. And I love the idea. He tries harder than anybody, maybe except Earl. You know, that's where he got his work ethic from, watching him. So just kind of pass it on down, and I love it.
Now, you've got a good record from the Mosconi Cup. You lost out on the last 2 years. Are you kind of over that burnt-out feeling? You're just fresh new slate, fresh new event?
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'm just ready to play.
Fight talk, I hear it. I love it. Now, everyone is talking about Team Europe as the favourite. They were talking about that last year as well. What is it about Team USA? We all know that you guys have this sparkle. I think even, you know, the recent news, you guys coming together and you just seem like you have that team feeling. What is it that you guys have that just Team Europe doesn't, possibly?
I feel like we have a perfect blend. You know, Skylar keeps it nice and loose in the practice room. Shane will, you know, tighten it up a little bit if we get out of hand. Chris does the same thing. He keeps everybody loose. I try and stay a little bit calmer and just kind of do my thing. Then you throw Earl in there this week, and it's been a blast. Jeremy does his thing as well. He knows the table so well. So if we shoot a shot that maybe we shouldn't shoot out there, he'll be like, hey, do this instead. And, you know, and I think we just have a really nice balance of guys in there. So practice room has been great.
Now the crowd is that's no surprise to you. You've played under those conditions. So are you feeling confident for tomorrow?
I'd rather have them there, to be honest. I mean, it's probably the best crowd in pool. Mandalay Bay was unreal in 2019, but something about those Euros, man, it's awesome.
David. Hola.
Hola.
Now, 2017, it seems like years and years ago. How is this Mosconi Cup going to be different? How are you feeling?
Yeah, 2017 is my last Mosconi Cup. Of course, I worked so hard for back this amazing team. This year I don't win a big tournament, but all big tournament finish in the final or semi-final against my Alvin. But I think I play so good all round, also in US Open. Of course, so happy back to the team, but tomorrow we are ready for the match.
And you really have just played so consistently this year. Mm-hmm. Do you find that you're just always on the edge of being the pick for the Mosconi Cup? There must be so much frustration, but also pressure when you're going to these other tournaments to get into this event.
Yeah, of course. When you want some tournament, some big tournament, I want a Whirlpool Masters in 2019. The captain pick another big player. In the moment you not so happy, but later you understand. In Euro we are maybe 20 big players, and it's so difficult for the captain. But now is my moment.
Sounds like we need a really good structure in place for these ranking points for both teams. How is the team different? How's the captain different from 2017?
Wow, it's so different, no? I remember playing in 2017 with Ralph, Nick, Jason. We play so good. We are so good team. But this year, all player is world champion, and this is more special for me.
Carl, I'm going to finish on you.
Cheers, boss.
Thoughts on the vice captain role? Are you enjoying it? It's your second year. It feels like you're really getting focused into this kind of role. Is the captaincy something that you want to look at in future years? Is that on your radar?
Yeah, Alex, watch out. No, I'm only joking. You know, obviously, I work, you know, with you guys at all the events all year, and I suppose like 2 or 3 years ago, if somebody said you could be captain, I don't feel like I'd be ready, because when I played pool, I never did things how you should do, how these guys do and how our guys do, and I've learned a lot from Alex, and I've learned a lot about the game, so, you know, I'm just enjoying the ride.
How's the team been different to this year? Obviously, Fedor was part of the team in 2020. How's the dynamic been in the last couple of days since you've arrived?
Yeah, it just feels the same. You know, we've just picked up from where we left off last year. Me and Alex have a good bond. We have a good laugh. David's in instead of Fedor Ghost, and everything's going just the same. Obviously, Earl's had to pull out. That's a great shame. But, you know, Jeremy coming in, we don't feel like, you know, that weakens the side. Me and Alex, we've got a lot of respect for this team. We feel like it's a lot better than last year, and we feel like we've got a battle on our hands.
Sorry, Alex?
Oh, and we've also been playing Jenga, and we've been breathing like Wim Hof, so we're ready.
You've been what?
Breathing like Wim Hof. Google it. Google Wim Hof. We'll get you doing it later.
Team Europe, ladies and gentlemen. Carl, just looking at this event, obviously you've experienced the Mosconi Cup in this kind of environment. I mean, it's not at the full capacity, the 3,000 fans that we're hoping, that we had hoped for when we first went on sale for this event. But the arena looks fantastic. That table is going to look incredible. What are you going to be saying to your team out there when the crowd is going wild?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, all of our guys have played with the crowd, so they know what to expect. And obviously, last year it was a surreal feeling. There was nobody there. We didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do. It was like, do you shout, cheer, or do you just sit in silence? So whether there's 1,000 there or 3,000, you know, it's going to be carnage. It
really is going to be carnage. And so I'm going to throw to the questions via Zoom first.
What about Miller?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
We got you. He's all right. He's got a couple of one-liners.
I'm so sorry, Josh. That wasn't part of my trick to make USA feel a lot more at an advantage tomorrow. I've got red toe polish on, so secretly rooting for Team USA. Josh. I apologise, I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
You did actually win the European Championship not too long ago.
Super happy about it.
Exactly. But not easily, I must say. You had quite a tough final with Sanjin and that viral clip. How's your form feeling at the moment?
Well, at my last Euro Tour I was 33rd, so I'm good.
This is why I skipped him, because he gives me very short answers.
No, honestly, I mean, this year wasn't my best year. It was, I don't know, 33rd at the US Open. I'm just being honest, but as you see, the standard of play is so high. Even though I was the reigning champion or defending champion on the US Open, I couldn't get close to the last 8 or something. So, but sometimes you have to change something on your game or look back on the games where you played bad.
I did it. I did my homework, and I'm ready for sure.
And everyone's been saying it. The standard has been increasing, and it's getting better quality. And even you can make 3 Team Europes out of the pool of players that you guys have, which makes it harder for Alex and Carl when they're looking at the wildcard selections. Does that put some more pressure on you to win the Matchroom events? And obviously, starting from next year and moving forward, there will be another way of making the Mosconi Cup and a more streamlined way of making that. That's just going to pile on the pressure because you're going to have to win the events.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we have so many great players from Europe. You got the pressure to win any event. Even though the European Championship, many players weren't there, like Kachi or something, but still it was so tough to win it. I mean, I actually had to lose 3 matches before I went to the final. But my opponent luckily made mistakes. I got through. I qualified for the World Games as well. So, but as you said, it's pressure you can't describe in words. You have on every event you play, even though on the Euro Tour. So.
Now, 2019 in Vegas was the last time you played in front of a very lively crowd. I hate to bring it up, but you did lose that final point to Skylar Woodward. Is that going to be hanging over your head going into tomorrow? Does it bring back bad memories?
Well, when I watch back at the Mosconi Cup 2019, I played one of my best games ever. I lost to Skylar, who played perfect against perfect. I mean, I made one mistake in the last game, but honestly, I could be happy about my performance even though I lost. So hats off to him, how he played, how he handled the pressure. It was pretty tight. It was 10-8, I think. Yeah, of course, I had running tears after the match, but who doesn't have it is not playing with a lot of heart, I think.
A lot of respect from both teams to all of the players here, and I love that. I think this is great about this year's Mosconi Cup. It is the first Mosconi Cup in London for you.
Yeah.
Nervous?
Well, for example, when I missed out on 2018, I watched from home, and you can hear the difference on the TV already, how the crowd reacts. So I don't know what to expect tomorrow. I mean, I've played in many Mosconi Cup events, but this is going to be different, and I'm going to like it, that's for sure.
Thank you. Have I missed anyone else out, just before I check? No one else here? Okay, I will hand over to the Zoom questions. And I believe it's Melina Mike up first.
How you guys doing? I got a question for Double J. You've been hit with curveballs quite a bit over the last 2 years, but I'm curious, what kind of fight can the fans back home expect to see from the guy sitting next to you and from yourself for tomorrow and going forward?
Well, I don't know about the fans, but I expect 110% from myself and from these guys. I think they're in a great place. I mentioned it a few months ago that we had probably 2 or 3 months of the best string of events we've ever had in pool, as far as big events where these guys got a chance to get in the mix and play many of these guys and a lot of great players from around the world. But, I mean, you know, there's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser. I'd hate to lose, but I'd be very disappointed if I didn't see the fight. And so I expect a hell of a fight. And it might take a long time to shake something off if I didn't feel us fighting, but I'm not too worried about that. I think America will see the fight. The fight will be there. And, you know, I wouldn't say no holds barred, but I'd say that, you know, we're gonna be throwing punches, and that's just how the Mosconi Cup is.
No, nothing else. So we're going to move on to the next. And Mike? Mike Panozzo?
All right, now I'm unmuted.
Sorry.
How y'all doing? This question's for Emily.
God, here we go.
I was wondering if, if you could tell me what kind of details, what kind of explanation can you give us about what happened to Earl? What were the details? When did you find out? When did Earl find out? Just curious as to how all that went down, and obviously wondered about his reaction.
We're not focusing on something like that now. I mean, I'm more than happy to share any information with you, but it's just not one of our concerns. We're looking at, Jeremy's here, and he's obviously replaced Earl. The main thing is that Earl is healthy and he's isolating, and we have to obviously focus on the event. But there's nothing really more to say on it. Well, that shut that down pretty quick, didn't it? On to the next.
Hello, this is Etienne from Amsterdam. I'd like to ask both questions. What kind of preparation they did, especially for the Mosconi format?
Say that again, sorry?
I'd like to ask both captains what kind of preparations they did with their team, especially for the Mosconi Cup format.
What preparation you've done?
Well, a little like last year, but the big difference is that last year the players were out of competition. So we had a lot of time and opportunity together, and we started 2.5 months before. And we worked on, I tried to think of formats where even online they had to communicate and work with the shot clock, which is, I think, key in the Mosconi Cup. Doubles play, the doubles points, by themselves they know what to do. But in doubles play, it's about getting in sync with your partner. So we did a little bit of that, but we didn't have so much time. And also because of giving it so much time and dedication before, we already, I feel, have that structure in place, way more than before.
And Jeremy, the same question?
Yeah, just as Alex referenced, that the players had, a couple 2.5 months, 3 months of tournaments, along with some other events they played in. Some traveled around the world. We've always, as far as Shane's concerned, let him do his own thing to an extent. We reach out here and there, or I reach out here and there, and then there's some guys behind me that do the same. Tyler's got a man that coaches him, so we respect that, but Tyler and I, we go over some mental things more than physical things. There's a little physical here and there. Of course, Chris and I, we spend a lot of time together, and we have since 2020. Skylar, right down the road now in Texas, he's made several trips to Texas, and he and I communicate a ton. I think he's a Josh Filler on the American side as far as talent, to where he doesn't need a lot of direction in that regard. And then also these guys have played a lot of doubles together, so we put a lot together. And just like I said, it's a little different. I look at it a little more like when I played. These are professionals, and they are supposed to be prepared in a certain manner, and we're always here to help and advise them. But a couple years ago, Matchroom went out of their way to help Team America kind of get it back on the map. But that's not something that can happen forever. Us travel as a team, we all are professionals, but we put in a lot of time.
And in an ideal world, you'd be training at events leading up to the Mosconi Cup, but obviously under the circumstances, there's not that many events happening in 2021, and you have to work via Zoom or chat on the phone, for instance. So moving forward, in an ideal world, you want to have the events where you can see each other and train ready for the Mosconi.
Absolutely. It's just, I think like these guys have, the Euro Tour trains them better than Alex ever could. Nothing against Alex, but them guys playing 150 great players, or whatever you want to call it, so many times a year. All 10 of these guys are geniuses. So it doesn't take much to trigger a genius if they get a chance to anyways.
And the next question.
Yes. Hi, everyone. This is Sam from Q-Strokers Arabia. I've got a couple of questions, if I may ask. One goes for Emily, and the second goes to SVB. So do I go and ask Emily first?
Whatever you want.
Hello?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. We've seen a noticeable effort, Emily, from Matchroom in changing formats, pocket sizes, and stuff to actually drive the competition and drive the viewership. And we look at this from a very, very positive standpoint. Our question is it possible in the foreseeable future that we could witness some changes into the team themselves, like something like increasing the number of players to 6 maybe, and to include a female athlete on each team? Is this something possible?
It's a good question. I think the Mosconi Cup works based on 5 players a team. The expansion to having a captain and a vice captain has been something that's really pushed the event moving forward from the last couple of years. Obviously, our involvement in the open events has pushed our improvement into the formats, pocket sizes. I mean, previously we were only working in just one table events and dealing with probably 20 players at maximum. Now we're having to look at 256 players and open our events to more people, more spectators, more players, and also to be more professional. So that's why we're trying to standardise our Matchroom pool events. We will be expanding our calendar more for 2022. Very exciting news coming soon. So moving forward on that, on females playing, I think the idea is that we should be opening all of our events to open fields. There shouldn't be a men's only event, a women's only event. Everything should be mixed and everything should be open. In time, there is also that route where women can get onto the team if they play all of the open events. But it takes all of the promoters to also join our vision in making all of the events open. And that's the most important thing, that we all come together and do that. So there's a good future for all women involved in pool, and this is the time for them to pick up the cue if they were ever on the fence about it.
All right, I think I'm up. Thank you, Emily. My question is for the South Dakota kid, Shane Van Boning. Obviously, the Mosconi Cup isn't something new to you, SVB. However, being vice captain while playing is a new one. Could you tell us briefly how have you been preparing for this assignment, and what could the U.S. supporters expect to see from you as a vice captain as opposed to a player?
I'm looking forward to just to make sure all the players on my team are perfectly informed, shot making wise, and just little things that I'm looking forward to help them improve in the game. So that's just what I'm looking at. I'm just not really pushing very hard. I'm just looking for a little thing to improve, to make sure that the game is done so.
On to any next questions?
Touch base on this earlier, but as the face of the sport, I'm curious what your thoughts are on the 4-inch pockets and what that standard should be for rotation players going forward.
Who was that for, Mike? Sorry.
Oh, Shane, I apologize.
For Shane?
Yes, ma'am.
How great you think the 4-inch pockets are?
The 4-inch pockets, they're great for pool. You know, you don't want to go 4.5 or 5. I mean, the Whirlpool Masters, 4 inches. I don't know if it's smaller, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely great for pool. I mean, shot making wise, better players are always going to be on top, and that's the way pool should be. You got to make the game difficult. You got to see players missing once in a while. So I think it's great for pool.
And that's it on the Zoom questions. Just open it to anyone on the floor if they wanted to ask any questions. Nate?
I guess a question for Shane and Sky, but for all of you as well, if you have a thought on this. Normally, a captain's role is to make sure that all of his players are prepared to play their best. Obviously, that's going to be very different this year with the U.S. since both of our captains are playing. So Shane and Sky, but also Chris and Tyler, if you have a thought on this, how do you help take the burden off of JJ as well as Shane and make sure that their role is lessened a little bit so that you're prepared and let them kind of focus a little bit more on the playing aspect as well?
You know, like they said, I'm just going to try to, you know, keep everybody calm and laughing, and especially Jeremy. Yeah, I'm going to put a lot of pressure on Jeremy, don't worry. Nah, I'm going to, you know, I'm just going to, you know, keep talking to Jeremy, and you know, they're all ready, but I'm just going to try to keep Jeremy calm as well, and be ready to play.
I just have to say that our whole team is, you know, we hold each other accountable, and we know that we're all going to be on the practice table and be prepared by the time it comes to the matches. So I think it'll help him and Shane be more ready to play when it comes time.
Yeah, I feel like we're all here for a reason, right? You know, this one event doesn't change how we play the game. So I think we're just here focused on getting used to the table, and you know, the more we take care of ourselves, the more we take pressure off of them guys, which I don't really feel like they feel much pressure anyways. So we're just doing our own thing, getting in stroke and getting ready to go.
And we just have one more question from Niels from Relive. So I'll just head over.
Yeah, hi, this is Niels. I would like to ask to the European team. So did you receive a lot of support from your fans in your home countries? And how does this support might look like? For example, does players watch the streams in the club together, or can you tell us anything there? How the engagement and the feedback is there?
Can you repeat that question, please?
Yeah, so how do you see the support in your home country? So in the US, it's more easy. So we all know that there's a lot of support and engagement from the pool community and from fans all in the country. But how is it in the different countries here in Europe? So is there a lot of support? Does fans write you, give you support? How could the support look like?
Can you repeat that one? Yeah, obviously having the crowd back is like having a six man. You know, when you're at home, it's like being at a football match. You got your home crowd there, so there's always like a little extra momentum getting pushed into the team. So I think having the fans back and being in Europe, like I said, it's like an extra man. They can, when you're down a little bit or you maybe lost a hard match, but you have to come back out, you've always got that feeling like the crowd can pump you up and get you going again. And you know, it's just going to be good to have them back in, and you know, like I said, having them on your side and giving you more motivation to do well.
Any more questions from the floor here?
I have a question for the U.S. You guys are the underdogs coming into Europe here. Are you guys have talked about playing with a little chip on your shoulder, or playing with that underdog mentality about coming out and motivating yourselves like that, playing as the underdogs?
Yeah. Ever watched Dodgeball?
Dodgeball, the underdog story.
What did you say earlier? Just my word. Go ahead when you go.
What was the question?
Are you using that as any motivation, playing with a little bit of chip on your guys' shoulder?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's good to be the underdog, especially with these fans here. It puts more pressure on them,
Absolutely.
for sure.
This question is for Tyler. All right. 3 years ago, you guys were down 2-0, and it looked like we were going to lose again. Everybody was talking about losing, and you came with it and turned the whole match around. You ended up turning the whole thing around. You guys came back and won this whole thing, and I think you're going to do that again here. So my question to you, Tyler, is on the last day after you guys win this thing, who are you going to call? Who are you going to tell?
Nah, I'm gonna stay in the present and just play every single ball the way it's supposed to be played, and just let the cards fall where they fall. If we win, be the happiest guy in the world. But really just gonna help these guys as much as I can and try and get that W.
Emily, this is a question for you. We're in a changing environment. You know that as well as everybody. With Earl going out, how about we get a captain versus captain match against Alex and JJ?
We're down for that.
Not you, Carl. Alex.
I thought you said vice captain.
Make it happen.
I know Shane's vice captain. I'll take that back.
We're not there just yet, but there is always time for a golden buzzer, isn't there? Where you can hit the golden buzzer and the captains come and play a rack. That's one of. It will happen some point. Just you wait. Right. Any more questions, Jim?
Oh, sorry. A question for Jeremy and Shane, and for Alex and Carl. Over the last years, we've seen that the captains, how they set up their team and where they send them out in certain matches has become quite important. There's ways that the system could work in your benefit or not in your benefit if you make the incorrect decisions. This year we have a slightly different schedule with only being 4 matches on day one, so that 5th match on day one singles match isn't there anymore, which seemed to have been Shane's match for very many years. And now there's 2 captains picks, 2 fans picks. How has that changed how you are looking at the schedule? And are you, to a certain extent, trying to double guess who might be picked by the fans in order to place the matches around it? Or are you just going based on who will be picked, and we'll see what happens?
Well, we felt like the new format favors USA a little bit more because the balance in their team is the difference in their team we feel is a little bit bigger between the best and maybe the not the best player. So with the new format, it's a little bit easier to have the stronger guys playing more. And another thing is that the first singles match on day one, that's like a free match. Before, that would influence the picks on day 2 and day 3. Now, not anymore. So that's another thing. But that being said, if we look at the lineup and who to put where on what day, we mainly look at our players. Who's good earlier on the day, later in the evening, who likes to start with a single, who likes to start with a doubles match, which 2 players mix well and which 2 don't. So we actually didn't consider USA and who they would put in what position on day 1, day 2, etc. Right? Right.
Well said, Captain.
As a fan's choice, do you have an idea in your head who you think will be picked?
Yeah, well, Shaw has a good chance to get out there. So actually, yes. So when we looked at the lineup, we also need to consider if he were the most likely one to get picked. If we put him there and there, he might have a very busy day on that day. So those are things that we considered, yeah.
It would be lovely to know who's going to be fans' choice, isn't it?
JJ.
Well, I think a lot the same. you know, we went through many different scenarios. Matchroom, even though, you know, I'll admit that I said the same words, that I think this puts us in a better spot, even though Matchroom always makes it tricky. But a good tricky. I mean, that's what you want. You don't, anything easy, you kind of quit doing. But, you know, the one good thing is you have to put a scenario together that ties all 3 days, but we get to look after day one. And there are some things you can make changes on. And, you know, we have the greatest player on the planet, in my opinion. So maybe that gap is a little further from 1 to 5. But I think we're also closing that gap, which makes a huge difference on our end, not only in the structure of how they play, but how they play together. That makes a huge difference. I think one thing we looked at from last year to this year is, you know, me getting thrown in the mix, I think, wasn't obviously considered, but our combinations that we have, we're much more settled with as a whole. So if we need to make adjustments as we go, I think we feel pretty good about it. And the score always has a little bit to do with it, Jim. So.
One more question.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Tyler, which European arse is he looking forward to kicking most? And what prediction does each team have for the score for this year's Mosconi?
All of them, 11-9 USA.
And we'll close it up there. Yep.
Thank you. So I've been playing pool a long time, and I played in a ton of amateur events. Go to Vegas every year for all those, and played in a bunch of singles, bunch of teams. And by far, my favorite thing is teams, which now I know. I mean, I'm assuming you guys being pros most of your life, you've been singles, and this is you don't get to play as many team events. So I was wondering if you guys get as pumped up, and are you guys ready to bring that trophy back home?
Amen.
Yeah. Yes.
I think the team aspect is probably part of the jitters, part of what Alvin talked about earlier. Something you can't expect, somewhat like the table. The table you can't duplicate. You can't duplicate how you feel. And it's almost a movie setting in a sense. And when you're with a group of guys you really love, it makes it even better. So.
I grew up playing baseball, basketball, all kinds of team sports, and I kept getting dunked on, so I switched to pool. But yeah, I mean, I like the team sport, and you know, that we can all come together as one, and you know, go for a common goal is great. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Did you want to answer that question, or were you okay?
What did you ask, Mark? I'm going with 11-5 Europe. Oh, and yeah, and your video, check out his video about Mosconi Cup. Have you seen it? It's unbelievable.
No. We'll wrap it up there. I just want to personally thank, obviously, the players who, in very, very difficult circumstances, have all come together and supported us in very different and difficult situations. So thank you to you guys. And also thanks to everyone here who's come along. Really, really appreciate it. And it's a great little add-on to the Mosconi Cup. We will be live tomorrow from 6 p.m. on Sky Sports main event and arena. And if you're in the US, it is live on DAZN. So do not miss it. The Cazoo Mosconi Cup. It's going to be wild.
Europe!